Welcome to our deep dive on Claude LLM. You wanted to know more about this powerful new language model, and we're excited to explore some fascinating details with you. We've got excerpts from claudellm.pdf,
Oh yeah, this guide.
and
Wow.
it's incredible.
It really seems like Claude LLM is packed with potential.
What's remarkable is that it's not just generating text. It can actually understand really complex legal documents and then summarize them accurately,
Hmm.
and in a way that's easy to understand.
That's impressive. So you're saying it could save lawyers a ton of time they'd usually spend reading through contracts.
Absolutely. This level of comprehension is what sets it apart from a lot of other language models out there.
I see. So how did they make it so smart? How did the creators get to that level of sophistication?
Well, it all starts with the underlying architecture. Claude LLM uses the transformer model, but they took things a step further.
Oh, okay.
Remember that idea of self-attention we talked about?
Claude LLM actually uses a layered approach to self-attention, letting it understand the relationships between words, even over very long stretches of text.
So it's like it has a wider view
Exactly.
when it's processing language.
It's like when you read a really dense legal document,
Mm.
right? You need to understand the individual clauses and what they mean legally,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also need to get how they all work together to make the whole contract make sense. Claude LLM is really good at both of those levels of understanding.
That's incredible. It's becoming clear why people are so excited about this technology. What about the training process? I'm guessing it takes a huge amount of data to train a machine to think like a lawyer.
You're absolutely right. They trained Claude LLM on a massive data set of legal documents,
Wow.
case law,
Okay.
and even academic papers about legal theory.
Right.
It wasn't just feeding it raw data, though.
Right.
The developers had to be really careful. They had to curate and clean the data to make sure it was accurate and consistent.
It's like creating a specialized library just for Claude LLM.
Exactly, like a super specialized library. And the training itself, well, that's computationally intensive.
Like that bet.
They use these powerful GPUs and TPUs, along with distributed computing, to handle all that data.
So a lot of computer power. Even with all that, there must have been challenges, right? I mean, in teaching Claude LLM to understand the nuances of legal language.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There were definitely some bumps in the road. One of the early prototypes really struggled with these ambiguous legal terms.
Oh, interesting.
The ones with different meanings depending on context.
Right.
It was like it was trying to crack a code.
I can imagine how frustrating that must have been for the developers.
It was. But they found a solution, this technique called gradient checkpointing.
Oh, okay.
It helps manage memory consumption during training, like giving the model little breaks to process everything.
Makes sense. We all need breaks when we're trying to learn something complex, right?
Exactly.
So this technique helped Claude LLM with those tricky legal terms.
It made a huge difference. They also use mixed precision training, which helped them train the model faster, but without losing accuracy.
Interesting.
It's a bit technical, but it basically involves using different levels of numerical precision during training.
Okay, I get the general idea. So all this work went into training Claude LLM to understand and analyze legal documents.
Right.
But what else can it do? What other tasks is it capable of?
One of the most impressive things is that it can generate different kinds of creative text formats.
Hmm.
It can write poetry, scripts, even technical documents,
Oh, wow.
all really fluently and with a surprising amount of originality.
So it could be helpful for all kinds of people, writers, students, anyone who needs to communicate effectively.
Exactly.
Is there anything else that makes Claude LLM stand out from other language models?
One key difference is how well it can retain context, even with really long pieces of text.
Oh,
They
interesting.
use this hierarchical attention mechanism. It lets Claude LLM group words into clusters and then analyze the relationships within each cluster, but also between the clusters.
So it's like it's zooming in and out,
Precise.
looking at both the small details and the overall meaning of the text.
Exactly. To make sure it's efficient, they also use memory-efficient algorithms like sparse attention and approximate nearest neighbor search.
Okay.
This helps Claude LLM handle tons of data without getting bogged down.
Wow, it sounds like they've really thought about how to make this model as powerful and efficient as possible.
Absolutely.
Speaking of power, how are people actually using Claude LLM? What real-world applications are there?
Well, there's a fascinating case study in the guide about Claude LLM's impact on healthcare.
Oh, that's interesting.
A hospital network used it to build an AI system that analyzes patient records to help with diagnoses.
So it's almost like a digital assistant for doctors, helping them make better decisions.
Precisely. They trained Claude LLM on a massive amount of anonymized patient data so it can understand medical jargon and spot patterns that human doctors might miss.
Incredible. What kind of impact did this have on the hospital network? Were doctors comfortable working with an AI system?
The results were pretty remarkable. Doctors found that Claude LLM helped them make diagnoses more quickly
Mm,
and with more information. They were a little hesitant at first, I think,
right.
but once they saw how much time Claude LLM saved them,
Yeah.
especially on paperwork, they were totally on board.
I can imagine. If it helps doctors focus more on patients and less on administrative tasks, that's
Exactly.
a huge benefit. What other applications are out there? Let's move on to finance. I read in the guide that a bank used Claude LLM to create a system that combines customer support and fraud detection.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It sounds like a really interesting
It
combination.
really shows how versatile Claude LM can be. The bank trained it on a huge data set of financial data,
Uh,
transaction records, customer service transcripts, all sorts of stuff.
mhm.
So now, when you call with a question about your account,
Yeah.
you might actually be talking to Claude LLM.
So it can actually handle those real-time interactions with customers.
That's right. And it's designed to be supernatural,
Hmm.
conversational. And while it's answering your questions, it's also analyzing transactions, looking for any suspicious activity.
That's impressive. So it's like a super smart security guard.
Exactly.
Huh.
Watching over your money all the time.
I bet the bank is really happy with the results.
Oh, yeah.
Did they say how it affected their fraud detection rates?
They did, and the results are pretty amazing.
Okay.
They had a significant decrease in fraud cases because Claude LLM could pick up on these subtle patterns that human analysts often miss.
It's a great example of how AI can work with humans.
Yeah, augment their
To
capability.
use systems more secure.
Absolutely.
It sounds like it's a real game changer for the financial industry. Okay, I'm also curious about another field the guide mentioned. Law.
Oh.
I can only imagine how much Claude LLM could help lawyers who spend hours and hours analyzing contracts and legal documents.
It's true, it's so time-consuming.
Right.
Well, a law firm actually used Claude LLM to create a system that can streamline contract analysis and document drafting.
Wow.
They trained it on a huge set of legal documents and case law.
Hmm.
So now it can understand those really subtle nuances of legal language.
So lawyers could have Claude LLM do like a first pass review. And it could flag anything that seems important. That would free up so much time for them.
Exactly. And it can even suggest changes, based on legal precedents.
Oh, wow.
So the lawyers can focus on the bigger picture stuff,
Yeah.
meeting with clients, negotiating, things like that.
It's almost like giving them an AI-powered legal assistant.
That's a great way to put it.
I bet clients are benefiting from this too, with everything being so much faster.
Oh, definitely.
Speaking of efficiency, what about education? It seems like Claude LLM could have a big impact on how people learn.
Absolutely. There's this case study in the guide about an online education platform
Okay.
that used Claude LLM to make learning more personalized for students.
I see.
They trained it on tons of educational materials,
Ah.
textbooks, quizzes, everything.
So they basically created a digital tutor that's always available.
Yeah, exactly. And it can answer student questions, make personalized study plans,
Wow.
even give feedback on their work.
So it can figure out a student's strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And then adjust the material to fit their needs.
That's right. And because it's always there, students can learn at their own pace.
Yeah.
And get help whenever they need it.
It sounds like a huge change, both for students and teachers.
Definitely.
Did the platform mention if they saw any improvement in student outcomes after using Claude LLM?
They did. They saw students were more engaged.
Hmm.
They understood the material better, and a lot of them even got higher grades.
It seems like AI is finally making personalized learning a reality.
It really is.
Okay, last but not least, let's talk about retail. Online shopping has become such a huge part of our lives these days.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear how AI is shaping that experience.
This is a really interesting area. There's a case study in the guide where a big e-commerce company used Claude LLM
Okay.
to personalize product recommendations and make your customer service better.
So it's taking those customers who bought this, also bought that suggestions to a whole new level.
That's right. Especially since it's trained on so much customer data,
Mm.
you can really understand what people like and then give tailored suggestions.
Did the company see any changes in customer behavior or sales after implementing Claude LLM?
They did. Customers were a lot more satisfied because the recommendations were so good.
That makes sense.
And that led to more sales, too.
Yeah.
It seems like personalized experiences are what really matter in online retail these days.
It's true. We all want to feel like companies actually get us.
Exactly.
But with all these advances in AI, we also need to be careful about the downsides, right?
Of course, it's really important to use AI responsibly. Like in that healthcare example, they made sure Claude LLM's recommendations weren't biased.
Yeah,
That would have affected patient care.
that's good to hear. And I imagine data security was super important in that finance example.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That financial data is so sensitive.
Right.
The bank had really strong security protocols in place to protect customer data.
So it's a good example of using AI's power while also managing the risks.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, from Claude LLM's design and training to its amazing applications across different industries. It's clear this technology could really change a lot of things.
It really could.
But where do we go from here? What does the future hold?
Well, the guide actually has some interesting thoughts about the future of Claude LLM
Okay.
and the field of AI in general. One big trend is this thing called multimodal AI.
What's that?
It's about creating models that can understand different types of data,
Okay.
not just text. So images, videos, and audio.
So you're saying a future version of Claude LLM might be able to analyze all sorts of things, not just text.
Exactly. Imagine a medical AI that looks at patient records, medical scans, and even recordings of conversations with doctors
Wow.
to make even more accurate diagnoses. Or an educational AI that personalizes learning based on how a student learns best, whether that's through reading, visuals, or listening.
Those are incredible possibilities. It sounds like the potential is limitless. I bet they're also working on making Claude LLM even better at understanding context and giving more nuanced and complex answers.
Absolutely. They want to make it feel as natural as possible, like you're having a conversation with a real person.
That would be amazing. I'm also curious about the more technical side. Are there any advancements in development or deployment that could make Claude LLM even more powerful and accessible?
They're definitely working on making it more efficient and scalable,
Okay.
so it can be used in even more ways and in more devices. And they're always looking for new techniques to improve its abilities.
Like what?
Things like zero-shot learning, where AI models can learn to do things
Okay.
even if they haven't been specifically trained for them.
It sounds like the future of Claude LLM is pretty amazing. But all this talk about AI's potential, it really makes you think about the bigger picture.
Yep.
Where does this all fit in with how AI is evolving? And what would a future powered by Claude LLM even look like?
Well, the guide actually talks about that. They have this long-term vision where Claude LLM becomes way more than just a tool. They
Hmm.
see it as this AI assistant that's everywhere, integrated into our daily lives. Imagine having this super smart helper, ready to answer any question you have, do any task.
Wow.
Just make your life easier in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild vision, like those sci-fi movies where everyone has their own AI companion.
Yeah, exactly.
But stepping back a bit, how does Claude LLM fit into the broader AI landscape? We've talked a lot about what it can do, but where does it stand in the whole wheel of artificial intelligence?
That's a great question. Claude LLM is a big step forward in natural language processing, which is this key part of AI that's all about helping machines understand and use human language.
Okay.
With its advanced architecture and training, Claude LLM is pushing the boundaries of NLP. It's basically paving the way for even more sophisticated AI in the future.
It's pretty incredible to think about how much AI has advanced in such a short time. Just a few years ago, something like Claude LLM would have been pure science fiction, and now here it is, already changing things in different industries.
It's true. The pace of innovation in AI is just amazing.
Yeah.
And as it keeps going, we'll likely see AI playing an even bigger role in our lives. Imagine AI helping us with everything, managing our schedules, our finances, giving us personalized health advice,
Hmm.
even inspire our creative work.
That's both exciting and a little scary to think about. We've mentioned some potential problems, but overall, it seems like AI could really improve our lives.
It definitely has that potential,
Yeah.
but it's so important that we develop and use AI responsibly,
Yeah.
ethically and in a way that benefits everyone. We need to address those concerns about bias, protect people's privacy,
Mhm.
and make sure AI systems are transparent and accountable. This is something we all need to work on together.
That's a really important point. It reminds us that we have a responsibility to shape the future of AI. We can't just let technology decide what happens.
Absolutely.
We need to be involved, ask questions, and make sure AI is used for good.
I completely agree. The future of AI is not set in stone. It's determined by the choices we make right now. by taking a thoughtful and ethical approach to how we develop AI.
Yeah.
We can use its power to solve big problems and create a future that works for everyone.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into Claude LLM. We've covered a ton of ground today,
Hmm.
the technical details, its uses, and those big questions it raises about where AI is headed.
It's been a great conversation. I hope this was helpful and got you thinking.
It definitely has for me, and I want to thank you for sharing your expertise with us today.
It was my pleasure. I always enjoy diving into these topics and exploring the possibilities of AI.
And to you, our listener, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about the world of AI. As you learn more about this incredible technology, remember you have a part to play in shaping its future.
So keep asking questions, be part of the conversation, and let's work together to create a future where AI benefits us all.
Until next time, keep exploring.